So, not quite sure what I'm going to say for the opening of this one, other than, well, something tells me it's going to be related to Zyuohger. I picked up these four in the intervening time between when I got these and when I got this. Actually, I got this one a couple days ago. This is the newest one. This is the last one. I keep wanting to say Gecky Bat so badly. I want to say Gecky Bat, but you know, what can you say? What can you do? It's cute. I did notice though that for some strange reason the wings can fold up like this, and I also noticed that the wingtips, the thickness over here is different from over here, so that kind of bugs me a little bit. But it's cute. Whatever. Let's see. The bear, Cube Kuma, I think. It's a bear with a big shiny ass on it. I don't quite get that. Maybe if it'd been its belly, or if it'd been like the top, maybe it'd been like the top of its back half, maybe that would have made a little more sense, but you know, it's okay. I like that I do kind of like the fact that they've got the animal head actually on the handle of the thing. So, okay, I'll give you that. But there's a lot of big openings on this side over here. It's okay. Mogura. I know there's a Godzilla character by the same name, intentionally. But anyways, Cube Mole. It's cute. The only thing I didn't know is that there's actually a door that you open up on the bottom. A lot of people might have known about that, but actually I didn't. So, it is a bitch to get this thing off of the hands of, why do I keep wanting to say Gecky? That's totally wrong. Off of Zyuoh King and Zyuoh Wild. If you stick it in the hands, for some reason the PVC handle's really freaking hard to get off of there. So yeah, Cube Mole, whatever. By the way, even though moles have really long noses, I think they actually dig their way through the tunnels and stuff. So, okay. And then Cube Giraffe, Cube Kieran, which I kind of, is it just me, or Super Sentai Mecha for quite a while now have had an orange accessory mecha that's really long. It seems to be the drill, for whatever reason. I mean, it started all the way back with, if it's not a drill, it's a sharp, pointy object of some kind. So you had Gao Giraffe, which was the first giraffe. Gao Giraffe was a spear. Actually, it was an entire arm. Then you had the Baccario Ankylovalis, however, the Ankylosaurus, the Ankylozord, as they called it in Dino Thunder, and that was both a spear and a shield at the same time, which was slightly awesome. I actually like that one. Then you had let's see, SPD, Magi Ranger. Would have been Bokinger, so you had Go-Go Drill, which was a drill. It was a proper drill, it was the first one. And then, gosh, I'm actually starting to remember, or I'm starting to forget, starting to forget some of these series, like what came after Bokinger, because it's Gecky Ranger, I think. Gecky Ranger didn't have any orange, so, but yeah, and then, Dino Maru from Ninja last year. Dino Maru was a Tyrannosaurus that turned into a drill. So, or actually it was a sword and, did they have a shield? No, it was a sword and an axe. So yeah, it always seems like the orange ones are kind of a long weapon, or like a spear, or a sword, or a cannon. In this case, it's a cannon. So yeah, whatever. Am I disappointed it doesn't have a mouth? No, not really, because it's kind of hilarious. It's such a kind of sort of innocent, tall, elegant-looking animal, but have just a massive cannon, like ah. The only thing that I don't quite get is the handle. Well, first of all, well, there's two things. One, when you place it on, you can tell I really thought this through, right? There, happy? Okay, this thing. It fits, hang on. It fits on here, but the handle doesn't go down very far into the fist. It's kind of like hanging onto the very edge of the grip. So there's actually quite a lot of it. And the other thing is, well, it tends to do this. It's really flexible. And the same thing happens, and I'm not just talking about the joint that's right here that just so happens to be part of Gao King. Yeah, sure, part of Zyuohger. Yeah, I'm not talking about this joint here, but I'm talking about, there's the tiniest of tabs right here that fits into the tiniest of holes on the top, but like, that doesn't do anything. Look how floppy that is. It doesn't take much. So I wish there had been like a tab or something on the front end that would have pegged or would have latched onto the back side of the shoulder here or something like that. But it's really flimsy. I'm not happy with that. The other thing that bugs me is I can't quite understand why the handle goes forward. It tilts forward a little bit, and I'm like, why does it do that? It doesn't work on Wild Zyuohger. Like that doesn't do anything because it ends up hanging up like higher than it's supposed to. So, you know, why does it tilt upward? I don't know. It looks pretty bad as a giant cannon, but on the other hand, you know what a fan I am for over-the-shoulder cannons, so there's that. And I'll take a moment to take this apart. So yeah, so at this point, really, I should have just stopped. Kind of the only, well, let me back up. I got these because these are the individual weapons that go with Zyuohger and Zyuohwild. Okay, so it's understandable to get these. My opinion, they should have come with the sets, but they didn't. They came in really tiny boxes too. I was amazed how tiny they were. It was like opening up a mini plus set. It was like real tiny. I got this. I got the bear because this is kind of the official weapon that goes with Wild Zyuohger. Okay, fair enough. And I got this, well, just because it looks kind of neat. I like it, so whatever. But I got this because it's the main weapon for this. And also this. So let's get to it, shall we? And doggone it, I forgot my scissors. That little nagging feeling in the back of my head, I forgot something. Oh yeah, that's what I forgot. I was surprised both these showed up on the same day. I wasn't expecting this one until next week. Not that it really matters, but it's been so strange getting all of these within a 1 month period. It's been really strange. I can't quite describe the sensation of getting an entire toy line, well, I say entire, getting a toy line filled with stuff that I was never really thrilled to begin with. It's strange. And then getting all of them piled in within a month. I mean, it was a week between Zyuohwild and Zyuohger, and then it was another week between those two and the accessory cubes. And I got this, what, 3 days ago? And now I've got these yesterday. So, yeah, kind of strange. And before you ask, no, I am not getting Cube Whale. I'm at my limits there. That thing is shit. Well, I'll explain it later. What is this? Hello, I recognize you. I very much recognize you. I believe I saw one of you hanging out in our fountain the other day. Yes, a big water feature outside. Well, I'd say big. It's 14 feet by, or it's 18 feet by 4 feet, or is it 12? It's something like that. It's not very big, but We don't have cranes, but we do have blue herons, so nice. I haven't seen one of these in person in years. Whoever packaged this, thank you. Well, I appreciate that. Nice. Let me hang on to that. I used to know how to make an origami dragon. I've forgotten how to do it, but I used to know how to do it. Obviously, there's a bunch of different kinds of origami for the same critter, but I used to know how to do that. I bet you some of the weapons from Zyuohger aren't this big. Or at least the boxes are not as big. This might be one of the biggest boxes, with the exception of maybe Cube Whale. Good grief. I'll admire that in a moment here. Okay, that one's 8, that's one's 7, so I will open this one first. I can never remember if this is a crocodile or an alligator. I can't remember which. There is a difference between them. No, they're not two different names for the same creature. Even though, never mind the fact they look exactly the same. So here's Cube Alligator. Let me get these out of here. And an airplane overhead. Greatest timing ever. It has a little cube tongue. That's great. And that. And I'll be honest, this is one of my favorite cube animals. It's right up there with Cube Gorilla. Cube Gorilla, the gorilla, shark, and lion, and this guy. It's different. I like it. It's slightly adorbs. Has kind of a Spawn Violator look from this side. I just noticed, here's the fist for both Tosai Juo and Wild Tosai King. So that's the right hand. On the other side, there's a fist on this side. It's strange. It's not strange that the hand hole doesn't go all the way through. It's just strange that they molded a thumb on there. Considering the thumb is on the top there, why would they have the thumb on the bottom? I don't quite get that. Oh well. I like that. I like that. His little tail. I like that the tail doesn't. Well, yeah, tail's fine. Okay. Cubicator. Now, previously, I said that I liked they put some effort into some of these cubes to make them asymmetrical in how they're deployed. Not that, like with this, where the cube is actually turned on its side ordinarily. Not like that, but specifically with Cube Elephant, where the head actually comes out the side of the cube. I did like that. What I didn't like about Cube Elephant is kind of, well, the rest of it. Like that was an issue. And, I've gone over that at length. So, that was a bit of an issue. But I still like what they did with the head. That was a smart idea. Gee, I wish they'd do it again. Well, they did do it again. Unfortunately, it kind of turned into crap, because they made this, which is Cube Wolf. Oh boy. Where do I grab on? I don't know. Where's the... Okay, there it is. Oh, so you always pull the tail out first. And here's the wolf, which looks more like a badger now that I'm looking at it. The head is... That doesn't really look like a wolf's head. Is that supposed to... Wow, the head doesn't even tilt all the way up. It's always tilted downwards. I didn't know that till just now. This is a wolf? It's the same kind of diamond-shaped thing that... Well, I'll be honest, it works better on Cube Elephant just because Cube Elephant is supposed to be big and bulky. This, not so much. And the tail is massive. Oh my god. Well, wolf tails are kind of big. They're kind of big bushy affairs. So I guess I can't complain to, oh, but the tail is asymmetrical. There's more of it on this side than there is on this side. So the tail is actually asymmetrical. I just noticed that. That's proper crap right there. So, yeah. God, it's like transforming a vulture's head the way this thing flips around. Good grief. And you can't ever set it straight. The head will always be off to one side or the other. So this ultimately ends up being one of my least favorite of the cube animals, just because I like they did I like that they did the, you know, let's try and mix it up thing. It's just it turned out kind of crap this time. It doesn't even look like a wolf. Like, it's got the collars, but that's kind of it. Or the head, I can't stop looking at the head. That's pretty bad. That's not a wolf's head. That's a badger. It's a ferret. It's anything other than a ferocious beast. His nose, it's almost comical. Yeah. Also a wolf butthole. Yeah, kind of saw that coming. Yeah. And then there was the huge bit. Wow, that looks nice. Nice big box, flashy box. I like it. It might be a little early to bring this up, but they couldn't have like had the face fold down or flip away or anything. It's just one chunk and that's it. They couldn't have had the face fold away. I'm not saying that this entire chunk is lazy, but definitely they could have hidden the face. Maybe they could have had this horn slide up or down or something, just anything. That should have had a transformation in it, but it doesn't. And don't tell me it was due to budget reasons. I like the shade of gold. That's nice. I do like the gold. Actually, it has kind of a nice bronze coloring to it. There are arrows pointing which direction you're supposed to make the cube's face. That's nice. And in the middle, you have specifically 6, 8, and 1. It's not to say you can't put any cube in there. It's just, if you want to do the proper combinations, that's how you do it. Oh, that's strange. These white lines don't continue onto the back side. It's the same detail, just for whatever reason they didn't finish it. Okay. I just realized this box is big enough. I could actually put a cup, and hollow enough in large sections. I could actually, I might actually put a couple of the accessory mecha thingies in here. Am I upset that this is a thing as opposed to being a cube? Yes and no. Yes, because, well, it does that thing that Super Sentai series tend to do since the limb swap era began. They have this major gimmick in the first few mecha, and then they do something else and it changes how things work. So it violates the fact that this is not a cube. I mean, there's this whole, there's a square on the front, and there's some kind of sort of cubes on the back, but, you know, that doesn't really count, and it really pisses me off. But that being said, it's kind of sort of impressive, and yeah, impressive enough that I just kind of, okay. So instead of being a car carrier, tractor trailer with a car carrier, it's actually it's a little more of a flatbed. Although I could easily believe that this was a train. Although maybe they've done steam trains enough at this point that they kind of wanted to, yeah, we're good, thanks. Maybe it's one of those things, you know. But this, I mean, this is so train-like. I almost wonder if at some point that they actually did, that this originally was a train, a steam train or something like that at some point. Maybe it was. Ugh, that wolf just, ugh. I'm glad they do that in the show, because it gives me an excuse to store them that way. Wow, there's very little. This is pretty bad. Oh, and by the way, that's good. It's not that they just sit in the top there, they actually snap into position, so that's good. But what I wanted to point out, not only does it have very little room to move, but you can't even fold this part away. You know, get this nubbin under here. You know, get that out of the way. I mean, obviously this thing's going to fold down later on, but there's plenty of room in there. You could, A, you could have made it longer so it could turn more, and B, you could have flipped it under. The Super Sentai trucks and with tractor trailers and things like that, but they've been doing it for years. This is like, what the crap? Doesn't even stay on there very well. Oh, what's this? There's a little tab on the underside here. What's that for? Is that for, what's it called? Wild Tosai Dodeka-O? Or Dodeka King? You know, the ultimate 10-part combo. There's a little tab on the side here. Oh, never mind. It's for the accessory cube, so never mind. Boy, that does not stick on there very well. And will you please stop going through the door every few minutes? It's driving me crazy. Doors opening and closing. It's ruining my audio here, such as it is. It's a thing. Stop going in and out of the door. You drive me crazy. Should I just pause? Well, I'm pretty sure that these didn't happen beforehand, but I'll do it anyways. It's so easy to forget that you're not supposed to fold that up, because you don't, it's not like you split the legs apart or, you know, you unfold anything or transform. The only transformation that you do is the head. It really should have just been molded on there or something. Well, now that I think about it, maybe it's a good thing, because it is some degree of transformation, but still easy to forget kind of thing. It's so easy to think of the Robo as just that and call it good, but for whatever reason, yeah. But here's the thing that drives me nuts. I think you'll look just fine once the scars from the surgery have healed up. Good lord. They're kind of obvious, aren't they? They couldn't, like, turned it in a different direction or something, or had the holes go through the top and bottom of the body rather than through the side. Because in that way, these two things would have been up here. or it would have been down here, and that would have been fine. Still has the flat gator grin on there, which is great. But that scar just goes right through the middle of it. That's pretty bad. Oh, and by the way, in the previous video, a little stripe of blue. Why is that there? That doesn't need to be there. And it's there because it's attached to Cube Eagle, which, you know, because of this. You see, you don't need that. If you can put it on here properly, then you don't need it up there. That is lazy. That is sloppy. Unimaginative. A vacuum cleaner? Really? Oh, God. Push through it, Ava. Push through it. You know, with each and every one of these, and Cube Shark, they painted in the space, because they're all monoleg, they've painted black in between the legs, between the thighs, between the shins, between the feet. But they didn't on the wolf. It's just that little bit at the top, and then it stops. And that's actually, yeah. They painted this. That's actually one of the legs right there for the cube animal itself. So why didn't they paint this? Why? Because then they'd have to paint this side to make it match. Not that they're worried about making these animals look, you know, symmetrical. To be fair, I do like the color scheme, like red, blue, and then silver or gray. That's actually not bad. I do like that. But why does it have? Whatever. Oh, and by the way, the shark can't do it, the lion can't do it, the wolf doesn't offer up anything. Why is it that the tiger is the only one that has an accessory feature, gimmick, that works in combined form? Why is it the only one? Why doesn't the wolf have a feature? Why doesn't the crocodile have a feature? Why doesn't the elephant have the feature? Shark and lion not having a feature, okay, whatever. But why are these claws here? Because they don't look good in animal mode. They look fine when folded up, but they look terrible when folded out. And oh, by the way, it's not that good a gimmick. Why are these here? I don't get it. So yeah. So which one is Tosai Zyuoh? Or Zyuoh the World? What's his totem animal? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, fair enough. But which of these is the totem animal for Zyuoh the World? Because like with Gao Silver, okay, it's the wolf. But what was weird about it was the wolf was one of the arms. It wasn't the centers. But then again, Zyuoh the World, I'm so used to saying the Robo's name, Zyuoh the World is a combination of all three animals. And his costume is literally split down the middle. So is his animal supposed to be the rhino? Maybe if you watch the show, Ava, you'll have your answer. Ugh. Just, ugh. That's pretty bad. Alright. Oh, what a transformation. Whoa. Again with the vacuum, and again with the door. I might have to pause if the vacuum gets any closer. It's not because it's so loud that I can't stand it, but it's loud enough and this microphone's crap enough that it might cause trouble. Wow. This is very broad, it's very thick. It's strange. I know it's supposed to be a rhinoceros theme, but like, whoa. You see it in person, like, whoa. And now they're talking. I'm going to pause the video. I'll be right back. Okay, I think they're done. Finally. I made a recording regarding my original, or my initial impressions of Zyuoh the world and Tosai Zyuoh and all those things. And even though it's very easy, it was and is very easy to understand what the transformation is. I think the only thing that caught me off guard was these things. That was the only thing that I'm like, whoa, really? That's how you transform it? As opposed to just sticking it in, having it snap in place, and calling it good. For whatever reason, they brought these down. And it's not a case of you attach these to the bottom either. No, it's you fit it in the very obvious hole right there. It's like it was strange, it was different, but I didn't necessarily disagree with it. So, was I upset that it wasn't a cube? The Rhino looks nice enough that I give it a pass. That doesn't mean I like the fact that it's not a cube, but just it looks nice enough. I'm like, oh, okay, you can have that one. Go ahead. But yeah, I don't really. And complaints about the very flat face on there. Yeah, usually you reserve that for a secondary mecha or the sixth ranger. Usually sometimes that happens. In this case, it does feel a little bit of a cop-out. But like everybody else, I do kind of like that the three animals are here. Although I do wish they'd been defined a little more. Maybe have a black background to fill this out a little better, a black background to fill this out, and then use a silver background to fill this out. Something to make the animals stand out. Because at a distance, and certainly out of focus, it's just kind of a square. Or a cube, I suppose. So, like, it would have been nice if they added a little something to differentiate it there. So, they did it on the Ranger suits, so I don't see why they couldn't do it here. Monoleg, why am I not surprised? The one thing that does annoy me, that's your transformation, that's it. That's it. No excuse, they could have put a leg joint in there. Even if it didn't, like... Yeah, they could have put opposable legs on here. Well, that might have been top-heavy enough that it might have screwed around with it, so... Okay. But at the very least, you could have had legs spread apart. And there it is again with the vacuum cleaner. That's driving me crazy. To be fair, it's a shit vacuum cleaner to begin with, so... And I wish the feet had stuck out a little bit more. That would be nice. Give it some sort of something to work with. So, yeah, I mean, at the very least, you could have the legs spread apart. Because they're... And Wild Tosai Dodeka King, the ultimate combination, for the transformation for this, all you do is you take the horn off, you slip it into place, and that's it. That's literally the transformation for Dodeka King. Ouch! Shit. That hurt. But, so, I mean, there's no excuse. They could easily have put a leg split in there. Like, even if it doesn't walk around. I mean, imagine if Engine O had bus on and the legs hadn't split apart. Imagine if that had been the case. Well, it's a bus, it doesn't have to split apart. Imagine... bus on without legs that split apart. So you would have had all those combinations thereafter. It would have been just mono leg all the way down. That's pretty much what happens here. Well, yeah, that's pretty much what happens here. If you don't split the legs apart, you know, it loses something. But in this case, no excuse. No excuse whatsoever. I suppose I'm obligated to point this one out. Oh no! The holes in the bottom of Cube Elephant don't match up with the tabs on top of Tosai Juo. And as a result, the increased footprint size, it won't fit. I don't believe, well, it'll fit if you go this direction. It'll fit if you do it that way, but wow. Okay, so it'll just sit in there. But my point is, how many Super Sentai robots do you know of that can do that? Is that in frame? I can't tell. Whoa. Oh, it is in frame. How about that? So if you end up not liking Wild Tosai King in the combined form, then you know this will totally work in a pinch. Well, that's the thing. Oh. There it is. You know, how often in Super Sentai do the Rangers, well, they don't do it as much anymore these days, but like back in the day, sometimes the Rangers themselves would stand on each other's shoulders, or sometimes Mecha would jump on top of each other's shoulders. Now we actually have a toy that'll actually do it. Other than width and length, the height actually isn't as different as I thought it would. Usually it's a little disproportionate anyways, but you know, there's almost no point to having this thing turn at all, just because like it makes no difference whatsoever, and it pops off really easily. Okay. Though it is strange to have a claw and a sword at the same time, so I think I'll put this away. I know it does in the show, but for my own sanity. Wow, the sun came out. That's nice. You know, I almost think of this more as a boomerang than I do as a sword. Maybe it is in the show. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I don't know. Maybe he's left-handed like Mr. Bushido. There's a claw on one side and a big old sword thingy on the other. Front heavy. Not even that it's front heavy, but rather it doesn't have any feet. Oh yeah, by the way, Bandai, Plex, couldn't you have the feet extend outwards a little bit? Like actually have it be part of the transmission. The feet stick out a little bit. You know, was that really such a difficult thing to accomplish? You took care of the side-to-side motion, like it's not going anywhere this way. But front to back, yeah, that's an issue. You should have had heel spurs. You should be able to pull these heel spurs out. You should have been able to pull the front of the feet out. You guys have done that before many, many times. Why didn't you do it here? That's bad engineering. Wild Tosai King. Oh my goodness. Wait, I forgot something. That doesn't stay on there very well. Okay. There we go. Now it's done. I'm going to move this out of the way just in case you decide to fall over because you don't have a proper foot profile. Look at, I mean, it's really wide, it's really tall, but it's also really, really narrow. This is an issue. This is a big issue. Wow. You know, of all the clusterfuck Megazords that are out there, I hesitate to say that this is one of them. I don't... Yeah, they could have done it better. But that being said, is this a clusterfuck Megazord? Not necessarily. Oh, look! Space between the legs. Finally. But it does look like he's just standing on wooden blocks. That is an issue. There's no foot profile there. None. Maybe they could have had a panel on the back side or even on the front that would fold down so it would make a new foot and maybe have these turned to the side or something like that. But, you know, this is clearly where all the action takes place back here because you've got him looking at you, you've got these looking back here, looking like proper feet, by the way, actually having some kind of stability right here. Actually, that's weird. I thought that, you know, by the way, you could have had these little guys. Here's what you could have done, Bandai, Plex. What you could have done, you could have had the feet, a foot panel fold down, okay? And then you take the 4 accessory cubes, or 2 of them, at least 2 of them. Let's say the mole and the giraffe, and you put them on the inside like a framework. So like maybe for thighs, or maybe for a shin, you'd have had exclamation points. Or maybe you could have these be feet on the front, have an exclamation point on the front of the foot. That could work. Why not? You could have these be hands, and these could be, like you could have 2 of them be feet and have 2 of them be hands. You could have done it that way. But, and then you would have had stability, and then you'd have been able to fold these up a little better. And then you would have had these really, really, like I forgot that these actually open up. I thought this, like, when I was putting it together, I thought that the cubes, I thought that they stayed as cubes, and I thought that was it, but apparently not. That's correct. I'm not sure why. That is definitely a case, and the others say too, but this is definitely a case of they didn't know where to put it, so they just kind of slapped it right there. Just kind of stick it on there just because they can. Which I don't approve of. I've never approved of that. And not just in the limb swap era. I mean, sticking random shit everywhere just because you have space for it is not good enough. Nowhere near good enough. But that being said, I frickin' love the Big King Sword, by the way, is what this, or Big Sword King, Big King Sword. I do like this. It's just a massive pile driver right underneath the forearm. That works for me. Is it a sword? No, it is not. But I can live with that. I can live with that. That's good. Now what it took to get it there, and yeah, I did bitch and moan an awful lot when I opened Zyuohger. I did bitch and moan a lot about the digital skewer, and I still don't like it. On the other hand, I do like the, you know, running all the way through. That's fine. Making a giant sword, that's fine. Having a sword come out of the head or turning the head, that's fine. What I don't like is that it has absolutely nothing to do with cubes or animals. Okay, animals, whatever. It could have been animals, and they'd still have done this. It has absolutely nothing to do. By the way, Cube Rhino is 100 meters long, 100.5 meters. That's from one end to the other. It's 100 meters. This has nothing to do with cubes. That's where I have the issue. The digital skewer, as a pen, it works. As let's interface our iPads, our iPods, and whatever pads and pods you have. We'll interface with that. Okay, that's a good idea. I like that. Hey, they did it in the Matrix, so why can't they do it with kids' toys? That's fine. What I disagree with is it has nothing to do with cubes. It doesn't work because there's nothing, well, there's a cube head, but that's the pommel. That's the back end of the sword. So, I mean, that looks fine. That works. But it doesn't work as a combining just for the individual thing. And by the way, you can't store it anywhere when the mecha are laying around. Not that Super Sentai Mecha haven't had that issue in the past, but... So yes, I like the sword. The Big King sword. I also love that he has a cannon on the other side. He can wield melee, he can wield a cannon. Bargain. What I don't like, though, is he kind of has the same issue that Cube Gorilla has by itself, and that is it pops off really, really easily. Believe it or not, there's just this little tab on the inside when you, this is all that you use to attach it to Cube Gorilla. I almost said random. So Cube Gorilla has this thing right here, but then it's got this slot here which never ever gets used. This slot actually covers over a tab on the back of Cube Gorilla. Why couldn't they just put a pair of tabs on the inside there, little alligator clips so it would clip on? So then you'd have had double clip. Or maybe, you know, you could have it clip on like that. But no, they just, it tabs on the side and it doesn't look good. Well, I mean, it looks okay. I like the fact that there's a giant cannon hanging out on the one side. Okay, I do like that. And by the way, I am concerned this is going to tip over. If I let go, is this going to tip over? Surprisingly not. I thought it was going to tip over. Because, you know, I've said before, this is not a very even surface. It's flat, but it's not. It's kind of tilted this direction. Bandai, Plex. That's an issue. Not that this is going to help, but it does kind of look better. Kind of. Hours of fun right there. Oh, shit. I hesitated to say it earlier, but that was actually something I was concerned about. The connection between the two halves is not very good. It's just a pair of common tabs. It should have been four tabs or pegs, or it should have slid on. You know, they did that for a number of years. This should have slid on, and it doesn't. There's actually plenty of There's actually plenty of space on here, and it's not like anybody would have noticed a giant gap in the background. You know, they were too busy putting molded in details, but they could have put a slot in there and have it slide into place. That would have been better. I was thinking it, but I didn't quite want to voice it. But now I have to voice it because it's actually happened now. So yeah, that is also that is an engineering problem right there. Where is the fist? There it is. If I didn't like Wild Tosai King, the final combined form, if I didn't like this combined form, I would not have gone this far. Tosai Juo is okay, but you obviously need other things to go with it in order to make it work. Juo King and Juo Wild, you can operate those by themselves, and they're fine. You're not gonna lose out on much of anything. But Tosai Juo, you kind of need the others to kind of fulfill it, to give it a complete picture. And there's some questionable things, you know, having feet that are larger on the front, having a better connection under here, having more involved transformation, having these stick out the sides. They could have done some simple engineering, which, by the way, they've done before in the past. Having a sliding waist connection, they did it just last year in the Ninja. For Shuriken Jin, you slide the train onto the dump truck. They did it in, first time they did it was in Zyuohger with Engine-O. You actually slide all three components on. Actually, you do it a couple of times. So, why they didn't do it here, I don't know. Well, they decided to do 2 tabs, plugged it in, and that's it. So, but if I didn't like the look, the overall package, and yeah, I know it looks, this almost looks like the front, like, and believe, let's see, can I? Yes, I can. Well, kind of. That almost looks better. Oh! Maybe I could flip that around. It almost looks better to have the animal faces looking at you rather than at the numbers on the other side. Well, the head looks nice. I like that. So yeah. Oh. You know I forgot something. I like this. I do. Is it perfect? By no means it is not perfect. But, and like I said, the aesthetics and engineering are an issue here, but I can't really argue with the end result. The end result is impressive. It's big, bulky motherfucker. It has big, bulky forearms. That works. It's got nice, bulky shoulders. Kind of. His head is certainly big enough, and oh my gosh, look at the size of these things down here, which are just bulked up by these things, which is stacked as additional armor. Which, by the way, what is good, when I initially saw Wild Zyuohger, which is when I saw Wild Zyuohger, the thing that concerned me is that the mole and the giraffe, you wouldn't be able to take them off and use them as weapons. But it turned out you could, and I was like, oh, okay, that works. The weapons are stored externally, and you can actually swap them out. You can take the bear, which is the weapon for Wild Zyuohger, and you could swap it out for the mole, or you can swap it out for the giraffe. That's good. And then later on, you can bring this out. So, yeah, I like this. In this case, the ends justify the means. Now, for final clarification, no, I am not getting Wild Tosai Dodeka King. Dodeka O. I'm not getting that, because it's even more top heavy. It's even more front heavy. It's got the spear thing, which I'm not happy with. The thing that I was hoping would happen at some point here with the stacking thing is that this would be a forearm. This would be an arm, and then there'd be it would attach to a shoulder joint. Or that this would be a leg, and there'd be 2 of them, and then you'd snap the hip joint on top. That's what I thought they were going to do. Now, they kind of got close here. And they could have done it here. Maybe had this fold up and you've got 2 of them here. But they didn't. I expected them to use this stacking thing to its full potential, and instead, we got 4 cubes on this side, 4 on the other side, and then this huge fucking thing on the top. And then the rhino thing gets shoved in the back. And that's just not good enough. And I don't like that if you think this tips over easy, Wild Tosai Dodeka King, which I have to think to say that properly, like Wild Tosai Dodeka King, I have to think about it, is even more front heavy. It's even more unstable because it has no footprint. That's it. That's all that huge thing, which actually stands about this tall. Yeah, it's about that tall. It's even worse. If you think this is bad, that thing is even worse. So no, I'm not going to get it. and I know they tried to turn a whale into a cube, and it also answers the question, why is it that all 8 of the cubes have holes running through the metal? They gave it a little structural stability. That's good. On the other hand, putting the cubes, the individual cubes together, I would have done it differently. And it would have been more secure, and you wouldn't have had to worry about little tabs that could fail first chance they get. So yeah, Wild Tosai Dodeca King is not going to happen. This is as far as I'm going. I'm not interested in the weapons. I've pretty much given up on the cube changer, their henshin device. I've pretty much given up on that. Yeah, that's it for me. This is it for my experience with Dobutsu Sentai Zyuohger. It's been a strange experience, I'll say that. I think I'm all ranted out. I think I'm good. There's more things I have to complain about, but not relevant to this thing. So, with that, this is AV Unit 4A saying thanks for tuning in.